This is Gwendolyn Kochur.
And Matthew Johns.
We're reporting for the Cleveland Stater. We interviewed Sandra English, who was recently elected the CIEC General Conference Chair for the American Society of Engineering Education.
What was your reaction to being elected to the General Chair of CIEC?
Well, I was surprised when I was nominated. Then I was pleasantly surprised when I actually was elected. Excited about representing Cleveland State, but then also a little overwhelmed thinking about that this is a national thing, and I have planned on the committee before, but not led the effort. So it's a very worthwhile challenge that I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Now, was this a goal of yours, or was it just something that kind of came up?
Well, I started with this conference back in 2012. I had been in engineering for a little over a year. One of my initiatives was that we definitely wanted to learn about best practices locally and nationally, and we wanted more of a national visibility for Cleveland State University and the College of Engineering. So, of course, going back to this conference back in 2012, I would have never imagined in 2019 that I would be elected to lead the whole effort for 2021. So, no, it was not a goal. It kind of evolved into that.
Okay.
So for people who don't really know much about CIEC, could you kind of give a little descriptor of what you guys do,
Right.
The conference that you guys hold every year?
Okay, fantastic. So we call it the alphabet soup, and I swear to God, I think it took me about 2-3 years before I learned it all. So the American Society for Engineering Education, known as ASEE, it's a national organization with over 200 divisions in it. Okay, within that, there's an entity called CIEC. It's the Conference for Industry and Education Collaboration. Now to confuse you a little more, in that Conference for Industry Education Collaboration, 4 divisions of ASEE make up that division that plans the spring conference every February. It's probably one of the biggest events outside of the annual conference that ASEE plans, primarily because you have 4 divisions helping with it. So we are focused on engineering education, and it's professional development, it's technology, it's cooperative education, and I think industry collaboration. So those are the 4 divisions that help plan this. So what we do is we bring together industry, government, and educational representatives to talk about trends, best practices, current research. Our area, of course, is focusing on students as well as employers. The industry collaborations is all about industry. We mix in there capstone, which is senior design. Technology comes in there because Cleveland State, which is great about Cleveland State, our technology program is accredited. That's kind of unique throughout the country, and then we can interact with other programs that are accredited. So and then continuing professional education, we don't have that necessarily in engineering, but it's interesting to see what they do in a collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So this will involve plannings of workshops and different things like that, correct?
Yes, so it'll be workshops of each 4 divisions, so it's like concurrent sessions going on with each division and some joint sessions, and there will be plenary keynote speakers. So last year they had the past president and future president of ASEE actually come and keynote speak. So they're usually nationally well-known people, which I'll be tasked with, to help come up with for this conference.
So do you have anything in mind off the top of your head for any future workshops or
Right.
sessions or anything like that?
So what happens is our planning meeting is always the March or April before the February meeting.
Okay.
So I have to lead the efforts with the program chairs of each division to plan the conference. What I really say is, okay, these are the divisions, these are the sessions, and the plenary is my area to go over. So since we're going to be in Orange County, it's like Grove City, so right there in Disney, I have some ideas maybe to go and collaborate to get a high executive representative from Disney maybe to come speak, or they say that they have different opportunities where we can visit and do off-site visits and see how Disney works, because Disney has monopolized the whole industry, collab, tourism, everything, and we would really want to see the engineering aspect behind it. So that's what I'm excited about, and I have 2 years to work on this to see how we can integrate Disney to be involved with this.
That's really exciting. I actually have a cousin who, she's at Penn right now, and she wants to be an engineer. She wants to be an Imagineer,
Right.
which is the Disney section of engineers.
Yep.
So that could be really cool to have somebody from that
Division.
Yeah, that's really great. So what year is that going to be?
2021.
Okay.
So what happens is I'm elected for 2021, which means for 2020 I'm the assistant conference chair. So right now we're planning for 2020 where I'm the assistant conference chair and I kind of learn and see what they're doing. Surprisingly, I just found out, because I'm new, so I didn't really know, I have to come up with a conference theme this June. So it's not me, since I represent CEED, that's the Conference for Engineering Experiential Education Division. I have to go to my division and say, because I represent that division of CIEC, we need to come up with a conference theme, and that's what we'll do to submit in Tampa for June.
Okay, so the conference for this year is in June?
The annual ASEE conference is in
Okay.
June. Our CIEC conferences are every February.
Okay. So what was the one like this past February?
So this past February, where were we this past February? Let me think. Oh, we were in New Orleans. So
Okay.
it was cold, I'll tell you that, unsurprisingly for New Orleans. We stayed at the Hotel Monteleone. That's where we did our conference. I don't know if you all have ever been to New Orleans or not. Hotel Monteleone is privately owned, very famous in the New Orleans area. And it's like a street over from the whole Bourbon Street and everything like that. An old hotel. So it's tricky in conference planning because you have to go up certain steps, down certain steps and everything to plan. What I really liked about this conference that we just had, it was very, very industry heavy. Usually we're always like 50-50 or slightly under 50-50, like 40-60. I would say it was probably like 70-30, so industry-wise. So there's a lot of industry for a lot of different departments. And for me, that's the most important for engineering because we have companies, we have a great relationship here at Cleveland State with industry for engineering, but the national ones, the big companies that never come here, and that may be your, let me think, Exxon Mobil as an example, or Rolls Royce, or companies like that will never come here because they only target at certain schools. When they go there, I'm all over them to get resources for our students at Cleveland State.
Now, this is something that can benefit students of all different specifications of engineering, correct?
Right, yes.
So how tough is it to find something to kind of, I guess, suit everybody and suit all different backgrounds?
Right. So I think the way we do a good job of that is because there are 4 different divisions with different backgrounds from all over the country. For example, CEED, I work with people from the University of Central Florida, Arizona State. Those are 2 biggest schools in the country. Ohio State has been represented. Locally, you have your traditional Cincinnati or Toledo, which are big co-op schools, but also we've been working with Washington State, so we're getting some West Coast outreach. So all these people collaborate on different initiatives and pass along different ideas and resources. So I think that is how we're able to reach a broad range of different areas.
Okay. And is there any way specifically that the students at Cleveland State benefit from having you in-house?
Yes. So one thing, we offer scholarships, especially the CED development area, CED division. Mm-hmm. What I like is we have in the past, and I want to make sure moving forward every year, we submit students for the co-op of the year and internship of the year. Now we've come close, like our students have been runner-up or in the top 5. But if a student is selected for that, their conference registration is paid for. They get to come to the conference. There's this big ceremony in front of everybody. There's over 200 people where they're recognized from where they come from, what they do, what their co-op or internship was. Their supervisor is invited to come. Their academic advisor or co-op advisor is invited to speak. And then our division, CED specifically, we do another reception for the student and their family members. So it honors the student, it honors the school, and it honors their experience. And it's another great exposure for that student to resource and network for future opportunities. Now, in the past for Cleveland State, we've had graduate assistants moderate and present posters and sessions there. One of our students at Cleveland State won Best Moderator one year. So again, that was great notoriety at Cleveland State. I am trying to encourage more students when funding is available to either be available to moderate or participate on sessions. Now, that's more so for the graduate and PhD level because of the level that's at. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about getting through and planning for it. You guys have asked some really good questions, making me think about how I'm always thinking about how to further get Cleveland State out there, talk about the great things we do. I mean, our co-op program is 95 years old. Because when you think about it, our history is Fenn College. Mm-hmm. Even though we merged with Cleveland State and then became Cleveland State University, and we still was affiliated with Fenn College for a while now, we're Washkowitz, but our background and foundation in history is co-op. So we're right up there with the Cincinnatis, Toledos, and Akron that celebrate 95 years. In 5 years, we'll be celebrating 100 years. So I think sometimes people miss that. But when I checked the records and looked, and you can look anywhere, ASEE online, and see past recipients of conference chairs or past recipient of awards and things like nature. Cleveland State was active on these bodies and doing things and being recognized. But it's been over 50 years. I'm like, my God, I wasn't even born 50 years ago,
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to get more involved and let them know that we're still here and we still do great things, and hopefully stay engaged where people can look at us as we're one of the schools to benchmark and get ideas from and collaborate with. So
Thank you so much for speaking with us.
thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored. Did you want to talk to me? Thank you.
Reporting for the Cleveland Stater, this is Matthew Johns.
And Gwendolyn Kochur.
Thanks for listening.